Speech and language problems are the earliest indicators of a learning disability. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about developmental speech and language disorders. So I'm going to be touching on articulation disorder, expressive and receptive language disorders. I will also talk on diagnosis and possible treatment, and also practical ways you can assist a child with speech and language disorders. Children with problems in this category usually have trouble producing speech sounds, understanding what others say, or using spoken language to communicate. If you're like most parents whose child has a problem with speech or language processing, you probably have noticed some difficulties in early childhood. Perhaps your child didn't learn to speak when others in the environment were already using multiple elongated sounds to indicate their interest in activities. You may have noticed that your son's sentences were shorter than that of his siblings, or his vocabulary seems to be very limited compared to his age mates. Sometimes, even when you ask a simple question, your child seems not to respond to you appropriately, or you send him on a simple errand, go to the kitchen, get me a cup. The child gets to the kitchen, roam about, and comes back to you empty-handed without carrying out your instruction. It can be frustrating, that I understand. As a parent, you may find yourself carefully pronouncing your words or constantly correcting your child's grammar, even more often than other children. Perhaps you have noticed that your child is able to handle simple requests such as put your bag away, put your shoe away, but when you move on to more complex requests, your child gets confused between your instruction and the action he or she is supposed to carry out. All children can sometimes mispronounce words, but pronunciation can be a major problem for children with language processing disorders. For example, your child may still be saying animal instead of animal, banana instead of banana, cockroach instead of cockroach, plate instead of a plate. So these are mispronunciation that occurs with children who have language processing disorders. Word sequencing is another problem that is associated with some children. Children with these language processing issues have difficulties labeling objects, labeling by class, labeling by features, and labeling by function. Now, diagnosing a child with speech and language delay, which will require a thorough assessment, which will include the child's history provided by the parent and the teacher, application of standardized tests, and direct observation of the child's play and interaction with the primary caregiver. Also, an analysis of everyday speech sample will be done. This assessment may take several hours so that an accurate diagnosis can be made. Then, the specialist that can carry this out is usually the speech pathologist or the neuropsychologist. These are experts that can carry out an accurate speech and language diagnosis. Watch out for my next video, as I will be talking about developmental, articulation, receptive, and expressive language disorders in children.